Good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining our listening Honorable Knowledge Seeker. Today I am your host for the evening. My name is Badham Dash. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already serve 3 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. In Institute of Global Professional, IGP is a training faculty for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualifications. The Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. It serves student and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to student, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, our quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to serve more than 100 premium service for free, like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and world knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all day. Kids learning game, free website, convert site, and many more. We help empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personality. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we arrange with qualified trainer, speaker, and instructor. We extended free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in last 3 years. We have affiliation with universities and organizations in 70 different countries. Virtual mode signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective, best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,397 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,397 webinars successfully. Wow. At present, we are going to start our 1,398 webinar, which name is Best Practice for Writing Your Articles, Title, and Abstract. And today our speaker is Sir Dr. Shobik Ganguly. He is from India. Before I hand over the speech to our speaker, I want to share a very little bit about him. Assistant Professor, Department of Electric and Instrument Engineering, Harvard Institute of Engineering and Technology. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Once
Sir, the
again, a
stage
very
is
good evening to
you can.
all the participants as well. Should I
Okay,
should
sir.
I start?
Yes, sir. You can start now.
Okay, fine. So very good evening to all the participants who are listening. to my speech on best practices for writing your article's title and abstract. Myself, Dr. Shobik Ganguly. I'm serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, situated in Patiala, northern part of India. So, welcome to all our eager listeners to this wonderful session on how would you prepare your article's abstract and how do you frame your article's title. So, it is basically an eye opener, but I should say that we always write our article's title as well as the abstract of it after we complete the write up of our manuscript. So, it is a common practice to frame the article title. It is a common practice to write the abstract about the article when you are complete with your manuscript. So when you are complete with your work, when you are done with your uh, methodology section, results and discussion sections, everything is done. So we finalize then the article's title, and when we frame our abstract, uh, doing with few key points that must be taken down today. That how will you prepare your abstract, how will you prepare your article's title. So, my dear participants, it is high time that we must understand the basic requirements for fulfilling the article's title and fulfilling the criteria for an abstract. Be it a discussion should be general, be it a journal article, be it a conference article, and always it is a point to be remembered that always we must write the article's title and abstract at the end, at the fag end of our manuscript submission. So basically, we will first prepare our result sections based on the methodology we conclude and based on the problem statements that we made. Based on the assumptions that we take, we prepare a methodology, we prepare the result section, we do the work, and after that, we will finally wind up with the abstract of the article. So, these are some of the key takeaways for today's session. So basically, we are to focus over here that why it is important that a well-written abstract or a well-written title is required for our academic writing or for our scientific writing. So basic purpose is to provide you with the best practices for crafting an effective title or crafting an effective abstract. So how do we go about it? Let's plunge into the details of it. So basically, when you are thinking about framing the article title, it is the first point that comes into our mind is that it is the first point of contact with your readers. So it is equally essential that the role of the title is very important, and it should attract your attention, or it should attract the attention of your readers and generate interest in them to study your article. So if you lose this attractive feature of your title, if you cannot create interest or cannot generate interest in your readers, obviously, what's the fun in writing or framing and title of of your article? So just as I told you, it is the first point of contact of your article with your readers. So of course, when we Google any particular article, or we search usually a topic, and based on the topic, we get some articles in Google Scholar or any other IEEE platforms or Springer platform or Elsewhere platform, Science Direct platforms, whatever search engines that are available that we do normally. So when we see the article, it is by the title of the papers or title of the manuscripts that we choose to download it further and go ahead to read it based on your research area. So of course, it's a first point of contact of your article with your readers, and of course, the article title must be attractive enough to catch the eye of the readers, and it must also generate some interest in the readers as well. Now, what are the considerations that you must look into that to frame or to make your title an attractive one or a compelling title, we call it. So it has to be very much clear, it has to be precise. We must use some appropriate keywords that help to uh, see your article. So say for example, we are giving a search on so and so topic. Say for example, I'm working in the area of power electronics, or I'm working in the area of drives, so I give some topic related to that. And what is my search engine optimization doing? It is searching out, or it is finding out or making some searches amongst the appropriate keywords, and based on which your paper will be reflected in the top 100 or top 10 or top 50 and likewise. So avoid too much technical language or avoid jargon in this, of course, which are not familiar to the audience that you whom you are addressing. So if you use too much of technical writing, sometimes it requires that some chemistry formulas are there or something of that sort. Some physics technical terms are there, some engineering terms are involved, but try to avoid too much technicality in your title. Use some active language and strong verbs so as to make your title more engaging, or more means your readers will remain glued to your title or to your article. Consider the tone and the style in which you are crafting your title, right? So these are some of the considerations for making your article look a compelling article, or it will create interest amongst your readers. So basic features are: it should be clear and concise, it should be devoid of any technical language, we should use active language and strong verbs to make the title more and more engaging, and of course we must set the tone and the style of the article with the help of its title. So definitely that consideration must be there. Coming to the use of abstract, this is how we thought that we should first make you acquainted with the topics, and then we'll get into the details of separately with abstract and separately with title and the key features, and what should or how should we frame our abstract or likewise. So basically, your abstract is a summary of your article. Whatever things that you have done, what is the objective of your work, what is the methodology that you have adapted, what is the outcome in facts and figures, factuals, and if possible, provide some future scope, some simplifications or assumptions that you have taken and which can be improved further. So this is what we understand by abstract. So abstract will be written in 3 or 4 lines, and we'll when we'll go into the details, you'll get to know that most of the journal or the conference papers, they require your abstract to be written within 150 to 250 words at stretch. Some journals have some exceptions, and you can go up to 300 words. So basically, it is a concise summary of your article, and the role is to provide what is the purpose of this particular study, what are the methods that has been adapted to carry out the study, what are the results and the salient conclusions that are derived out of it, and some note for the point regarding any future proposition that you want to intend to make out of this article. So once again, how to write an effective abstract. So you should restrict to the structure, and you should restrict to the word limit specified by the target journal or the target conference, for which we will also further specify that there is normally a word limit that we restrict our abstract to. It should be between 150 to 250 words to be specific for any standard journal or any standard conference. Structure, as I told you, first of all, we have to provide the objective of the work, an overview of the theme or overview of the purpose, and then the objective of the work has to be defined, and then we'll describe the methodology of the work, and then you can come to the results and the important conclusions that you make. Future scope of work, it is preferable to add, but if you do not provide, not at all an issue, you can provide it at the time of conclusions or concluding remarks of the article. And of course, you must clearly state the research problem. This is most equally important, and the objective of the study. And of course, you must illustrate the methodology in 1 or 2 lines and highlight also the key findings. That means the salient features of your results. So that will be some with some quantitative results if possible. Say, for example, we usually work with technical papers or that involves some facts and figures. So has to be there some methods of comparison must be reflected. So and so improvement has been carried out in quantifying terms, of course. So these type of things must be provided in terms of the outcomes of the project. Now, some more considerations. You should summarize your conclusions, and not only summarize it, but also provide some implications of the study. What are the important features? What is the purpose of the study? And of course, use very much plain language, and of course, avoid any unnecessary technical terms, because sometimes the readers just go through your abstract before downloading your article. So it should be written in a clear and plain language, and you should avoid the technical terms or the jargon associated. I think you can check for the accuracy and coherence, and whatever you want to convey, whether those points or those main points have been highlighted in your abstract or not. You can go for the checking or preparing an effective abstract you can look at. So these are initial considerations. Now we will slowly come across that what should be my best practices, and then we'll go into each and every detailing of how to write your abstract title, or how to write your article title, and how to write your abstract as well. So what are the best practices that we may use? We have to be descriptive. At the same time, we have to be providing some information, right? So it has to be descriptive as well as informative to convey the essence of the article. What is the purpose of your article? What is the research problem being considered? And of course, be concise, be precise, and avoid unnecessary use of words or phrases. Preferably use simple sentences, not complex sentences, so that there is a problem of linking your audience or your readers as well. So if there is a problem of linking, that you are somehow lost, then of course the readers might lose interest in your article and will not download your article. Of course, talking about considering the target audience, which journal you are targeting, or which target audience. Say, for example, if it is a journal of engineering, or if it is a journal of sciences as well. So based on that, you will have to fix out the target audience, and based on which you must tailor the title and must describe the abstract of it accordingly. So these are some of the best practices that we have for fixing up the title and the abstract of any article. Some more things, that is, you must use your keywords strategically. Say, for example, I'll take an example over here, sir, how to use the keywords and how to make its relevance felt, or how to this will help the readers to identify the relevance of your article and interest in your article. So how do we go about it? Say, for example, there is a keyword that is, say, Internet of Things. It's a very commonly used keyword, and preferably if you have your article based on Internet of Things or something of that sort, and if you make use of Internet of Things in your article title, of course it will be highly read and it will be highly cited as well. Example, I have seen in my articles, however good articles I have written, they are list cited, but when I have a keyword like Internet of Things, they are highly cited in my Google Scholar account. Of course, you must go through the proofread for any grammatical mistake or any spelling mistake or any punctuation errors, because it is the first point of contact of your article with your editor or editorial board as well. So, of course, the article receives DEX rejection in case the article is not appropriately written, or if there is a problem in its grammatical mistakes are there, some punctuation errors are there, some spelling mistakes are there. We have plenty of softwares that can help you check out. Grammarly is one of them, and there are several other online tools available these days so that you can proofread your article itself. And of course, you may seek feedback from your colleagues or your mentors, your supervisors. Of course, you can discuss with your collaborators in case how to improve the clarity, how to improve the effectiveness of your title and article. Say, for example, if you show it to a layman, it's the best way that you get criticism about the lacuna it has, or any meaning that he or she has not been able to identify or correlate with your manuscript title or with your manuscript abstract as well. So definitely, feedback is equally essential from from your colleagues, from your mentors, from your supervisors, and also your collaborators as well, to get the clarity and the effectiveness of your title and your abstract. Now we'll move on into the details of each part and how will I frame my title. And title is, as I told you earlier as well, when we fix up a title or we frame an article, the entire article or the entire manuscript has already been written. Entire manuscript has already been written, and after that, at the very fag end of preparing your manuscript, we must write out the objective. You must write out the objective of your work, finalize your abstract, and then finalize a suitable title to it. So of course it's a critical element, as we may find out, and that determines that whether you will be able to motivate your readers to read further, or they remain glued to your topic and read or download your paper and cite them further. So a well crafted title will definitely capture the essence of your article and make it stand out amongst the vast number of publications that we are getting these days. So, of course, we must understand that it should be attractive enough, it should be concise enough, it should be having some restrictions with the usage of words, technical terms, precise and concise, avoiding technical language, too much technical language. Of course, it has to be technical in case you are submitting in a science journal or in an engineering journal. Of course, it must convey the message. It must convey the main message of the article and in a clear and concise way. And of course, we should avoid some ambiguous language that may confuse readers, and appropriate choice of words that must be precise, specific, and unnecessary use of jargons and your technical terms that may be unfamiliar to the target audience. Say, for example, I'm writing an article to a science journal, and of course, if I am putting some engineering topologies or something of that sort, so obviously it will be difficult for a science person to absorb or look at the application. So of course, your you must be able to craft or draft a suitable title for your targeted audience as well. Of course, if you keep your title to be brief and to the point, and we must restrict it to only 10 to 15 words. This is the expectation from different standard journals as well. Coming to the appropriate keywords that we must use. Say, for example, I have taken one example of keyword search that are most common these days. Say, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and other keywords that will be immediately be registered to the readers and help the readers to download or go through your article, and of course cite it later on if they find it interesting. So of course you have to design strategically the keywords, the choice of words in your title, and of course that will increase the visibility of your research, of your discoverability of your research, whatever you call it. So of course your article must be ranked higher in terms of search results, so that it comes under within first 5 pages of search or something of that sort. So you must of course use suitable titles. Say for example, we make a thorough keyword research to identify the most relevant and the most commonly used terms that relate to your article's topic. So keywords is also equally essential. Choice of words is equally essential in order to frame your abstract as well. Be descriptive as well as informative. So, of course, the title should give the readers a clear idea about what is the expectation or what do you expect from that particular article. So, it should be in both informative, containing the keywords, as well as descriptive in such a way that the sense of the article's content or its methodology or its expected findings can be obtained from the article's title itself. Say, for example, I am searching for an article on control system, and of course, I'm looking for some specific mode of control, say modern control theory, data driven modeling, or network control system. So, of course, I should give my keywords in such a way that it is attractive, or it provides some essence for me to search out and for me to get that particular article or download that article and further use it for my citation as well. So use certain using certain generic terms, certain vague titles that do not convey the message of your article. So what is the article, what is the purpose of writing that article is not connecting it. If you're not able to connect it to your readers, to your editors, of course, it can be published, but it will not be read by many persons. Another important thing, we must use some specific and descriptive language that reflects the unique contribution of your research. So obviously the novelty of your research must also be reflected through your article's title as well. So this is another important thing and important concern for you. So, of course, your title or your manuscript title must be tailored in such a way that it must fit the target audience. Of course, if I'm targeting some audience which are from diverse disciplines, say for example engineering as well as sciences. So, say if you for example, some articles written on energy aspects may involve some mechanical engineer perspective, may involve some civil engineering perspective, may involve some electrical engineering perspective, or may involve some physics perspectives as well. So a journal may be common to science and engineering streams, but when you are specifying or when you are seeing that what kind of target audience is it for the journal, depending upon that, it should be reworked, it should be framework accordingly. So we must understand the level of expertise that is available, the interest that you may create to your intended readers, and the motivation level that increases your visibility of your research as well. So use languages or terminology in such a way that are familiar and that are meaningful, of course, to the target audience. And of course, you should avoid plenty of technical terms in it so as to confuse any readers. And of course, last but not the least, we must also say that the title should resonate with the readers and arouse their interest, arouse in them some interest, so that they are to read those articles and also find it interesting as well. Of course, some specific points regarding an article's title, that you have to engage your audience, you have to engage your readers so that they develop some curiosity, they develop some interest amongst the readers, encouraging them to read further. Use language that may be compelling, that may be engaging, that may evoke some emotions, and incorporate some power words, some action verbs in your title that convey a sense of urgency or some sense of importance as well. So this is how we work upon, and you make some questions, make some statements, make some phrases that will provoke curiosity amongst your readers and encourage them to click on and download your article as well, and that they may find interest virtually. Reflecting the tone and the style of your articles. Of course, it must set the tone for your article. It must sense the style of the article, in which what type of an article is it? Is it a review article? Is it a research article, original research article, or not? If your article is somewhat academic or scholarly activity, of course, the title should be very much formal. It should be professional as well. If the article is more of a casual nature, it can be published in a journal. It can be journalistic as well. So your title can be a little more creative. It must be catchy as well. And of course, you must understand that what is the purpose and what is the style of your article, ensuring that the your article's title must align with it. So this is how we go in for preparing the article. Of course, when you are writing your engaging article or article title, it is also equally important that you must be accurate as far as the content of the article. So, article should align with your title as well, and of course, some tactics that should not mislead the readers, and that should also not exaggerate the findings of your research. So this is also equally important. And of course, your article title must be truthful and accurate representation of your content. Say for example, I am proposing to develop a hybrid algorithm or a mix of two methods, mixed method approach for some problems, for some control problems. And virtually at the end, we find that that particular hybrid algorithm which we are proposing or which we are developing, which we are keeping in our title, is not linking with the article's manuscript at all. So of course that can be misleading to the readers as well. So you must be accurate. You must not mislead your readers. Must not exaggerate the findings of your research that it is a breakthrough research or something of that sort. Maybe novelty is less, but you can adjust it through your strength of your article must be there. And of course you must accurately represent the content of your article as well, and which will be reflected through your accuracy in the title as well. And of course, you before you finalize your title, make sure that you are going thoroughly through it, proofread it for any grammatical mistake, for any punctuation mistake, or any spelling mistake that is there. It is a very evil practice as well to have grammatical mistakes or punctuation errors or some spelling mistakes in your title as well. So what will happen? It will be a text rejection immediately from the editorial board. So of course you must ensure a double check for accuracy, coherence, and also to ensure that the title makes sense and effectively communicates the purpose of your article. And of course, revise and refine the article title as much as you can until unless you are satisfied with its clarity, with its accuracy, and the impact that it can create. So that is equally important. That makes sense as well. So some key points that may be repetitive, but we must also mention out here that your title must be accurately reflecting your content, and it must focus your article solely. It must convey also the main topic of your research or the main research problem that it addresses. You must use or avoid any vague terms or ambiguous titles that truly do not indicate what is the article all about. So you cannot mislead your readers. You must generate interest in your readers, arouse interest in the readers, make it or connect it, make it aligned to your research problem. And of course, it must provide some clear and concise overview of your work as well. So this is also equally important to connect it with precisely, to connect it clearly with your research problem. Clarity is another equally essential point for your fixing up your framing your title or crafting your title, whatever we call it. So definitely it must be clear and easy to understand. Of course, we must avoid any technical terms, any acronyms, any abbreviations that is unfamiliar to the readers. We are not experts in the field. It is not that always your some raw scratches, some searches can be there who are not belonging to your field. Say for example, if a particular computer science faculty is going through your research problem that may be in electrical, but probably he or she is looking for any algorithm based work on it. So if you are using some unfamiliar abbreviations in your text, so of course that will be not be very interesting thing for layman, like people from computer science background. So of course use some plain language, and that must be accessible to a wide range of audience. It should not be a narrow audience range that you are targeting. You should use a wide visibility of your topic as well through your title. And of course, the title must convey the main idea of your research work in a straightforward manner. So, of course, this is the clarity that we deserve in our article's title. Coming to the conciseness, of course, it must be to the point, it must be brief and not be long title, lengthy titles. We have earlier shown you that it must be clearly 10 to 15 words within which you must limit your title to. It must be a very concise title, and of course, it must attract or be a catchy title so that it attracts the capture the reader's attention and generate interest in the article to read. So, of course, we should avoid a lengthy title that may be overwhelming but may be difficult to read as well. So, this should be avoided. So, we should have a clarity, we should have a conciseness, and we should have an accuracy in the title. Now comes the next point, which we call as a specificity of the article. The article title must be specific, and it must focus on the research problem that we have taken up to solve, and it must also indicate the scope and the aspect of the research that is being addressed. So rather than using generic titles or broad titles, we must provide a clear cut idea. We must provide or throw a clear cut idea on the unique contribution or the novel contribution, the focus of the research. A specific title will be more likely to attract your readers and those who will be interested in knowing about your topic or your research area as well. Sometimes we also go through some articles which are not relevant to our field, but the way it is written, the way the attractive title is there, we also go through it, we fall prey to it, and we are we get engaged to the article's title and we get to read the paper as well. May not be interesting inside, but we at least by the title we must generate some interest in the readers as well. Keyword optimization. Once again, I told you earlier as well, because we need to have the discoverability of your article through the online search platforms or search engines. Definitely, you must put some keywords in such a way that grab the interest in your articles. Say, for example, some keywords like artificial intelligence, internet of things, blockchain, cybersecurity. So these type of terminologies, data driven control, network control system. So these are some topologies that you may highlight in your own research area in such a way, include it in your title in such a way that it is attractive and draws attention, and it is easily be discoverable in the online search engines as well. And of course this will also increase the visibility of your research in the relevant searches that you make. It will also increase your citation of your work as well. And of course the quality of work should also be there, in addition to an attractive title or in addition to an attractive abstract or concise or clear abstract. Setting the tone of your article. So this is another important thing, that how do you make your audience swing towards you, get aligned towards you, get glued towards you. This is also equally important. So the tone of the article should be appropriate enough for the target audience and the field of research as well. Say, for example, I'm writing a research article and publishing any research article in a soft computing journal or in any artificial intelligence journal, and my work is purely electrical. So, of course, I will not be able to attract or penetrate, although my work is on algorithms, so of course, but still, we will not be able to penetrate in a journal. If you put it in a journal of control, say for example some of the reputed journals of control, if you want to put, of course it will be fitting to your target audience and the field of research as well. They will be able to correlate with their work, and this will increase the visibility of your work and increase your citation as well. So of course it must be informative, it must be descriptive. These points we had been discussing time and again for you to strike at these keywords. Be provocative. So depending upon the nature of the research or the intended readership, you must also provide some article title in such a way that it must be informative as well, and of course that is most suitable for your research and aligned to your article accordingly. So this is what we understand by setting the tone of your article title, by virtue of which you can grab the attraction of your readers, make your readers interviewing, make your readers glued to the topic, or the intended readership must appreciate as well. And the nature of the research should be such a way that it must provide a good description, it must provide an informative information about your article title. Of course, time and again, we will be talking about any grammatical mistake, any grammatical error, any punctuation mistake. Sometimes we use colon. When is the choice of colon be equally important? Of course, we should avoid some typos or errors that diminish your professionalism, that diminishes the credibility of the article at the editorial level as well. Sometimes proofread your article title time and again to carefully ensure the accuracy and the correctness of it. And it should be free from grammatical mistakes. It should be free from punctuation errors. It should be free from any other typos or spelling mistakes as well. So this is how we go about it for deciding an article title. Originality, of course, you must provide a unique title. You must provide an original title as well. We must avoid to use some generic terms. We must avoid to use some overused titles that may not capture the attention of your readers as well. So you should claim, or you should aim to create a title in such a way that stands out amongst the other titles in your respective area of research, and that distinguishes your research from other areas in this particular field. You have to be very much creative, you have to be very much innovative in designing a title, and that should be engaging as well as memorable, because this will increase the visibility of your research as well. And finally, of course, when we go through or finalize your title, you must review that particular title. Look how it sounds. This is how I check personally how it sounds. How it sound. You can take some feedback from your colleagues, from your mentors, from your peers, from your collaborators for clarity, accuracy, and effectiveness. And another important thing, you must also talk to a layman, tell about the article you want to publish, and that is the most uh, expected criticism that you get is from a layman. So if you are not able to address to a layman, or if you are not being able to justify to a layman about your work, then of course how will your readers or interested readers get glued to your work, or they get to know your work, or increase the visibility of your work? So that is equally important. Taking feedback from your mentors, from your colleagues, from your supervisors, from your peers, as well as from your collaborators as well. So review and revise the article as it is being needed, to so as to ensure that it captures the essence of your problems, and be open to revising the title based on the feedback received, based on the suggestions received. So you must also learn how to accept the criticism, to improve your quality of work or quality of your title. Some key points regarding the guidelines that we normally have for title. There should be some specific guidelines regarding a target journal or a target conference that you are writing for. Of course, be sure to review the specific guidelines that is provided by the respective journal or the respective conference. For conferences may have tracks, so based on the tracks, what sub themes are there that you must also ensure. And in case you are going for a journal article, of course, you must be specific in terms of the aim and scope of the journal, so that the conventions for the titles, such as word limits and any other formatting issues, say few titles are without colon or semicolon or something of that sort, without punctuation errors or something of that sort, you must also stick to the guidelines to ensure that your title meets the submission requirements. So this is also equally important. You must understand the guidelines that are set by the different standard journals, typically IEEE, Springer, Elsewhere, something of that sort. So definitely you must adhere to, or you must connect to the guidelines or go through the guidelines again and again to decide. Just as I told you that 10 to 15 words is normally the standard, but there can be some deviations from this particular standard as well in some specific journals as well. Now we will discuss about how to frame your article's abstract. So once again, I told you that any article should contain a summary, and that summary should reflect your abstract, and it must give you an overview of your research problem, your research objective, your methodology, key findings, and some of the implications of the study in terms of quantitative research, or it can be qualitative as well, depending upon the background that you are belonging from. If you are from humanities or social sciences background, maybe that you will be giving some qualitative analysis regarding the implications of the study. Writing and effective abstract will definitely taken into account by your target audience, by your readers, by your the purpose with which you are writing the article, or the format in which the article is expected from you. So this is what we understand by the best practices. Now we must go through some of the guidelines that must be specified regarding the word count, regarding the structure, regarding the content of your abstract. But mostly, wherever in general, the journal papers that you are writing or the conference articles that you are publishing, of course, must align with the word count or the structure or the content, but mostly it is based on few general facts, just as I told you: objective of your work, your methodology of your work. It must produce some key findings or major highlights of your work, and of course the implications of the study, highlighting your salient conclusions as well. So this will help you to ensure that your abstract to meet certain requirements for the submission, so that it is not text rejected, and it goes to the editorial review part, and it goes for further review by the different anonymous reviewers, and it must be familiar to the readers and the reviewers as well. So it should be structured in a fashion that is familiar to the readers and the as well as the reviewers as well, if it is at the review stage. uh, Abstract can be written in clear, concise language that must be easily understandable and target to a broader audience. So of course, use try to avoid technical terms, try to avoid acronyms, abbreviations that may not be familiar to the audience, or that may not be familiar to your readers outside your field of study. So use simple sentences. Don't use complex sentence to convey your findings, your ideas, etc. Apart from that, you can keep your sentence short and focused. That's why we talk about simple sentences construction. It is better to avoid complex sentence construction, so that the reader is also not lost somewhere. Uh, Of course, you must avoid any unnecessary terms or any redundant information in your abstract as well. This is a very good way to start your abstract by stating your research problem or your research question, and that you are going to address in your work, in your research article. So, of course, it must ensure that your readers understand the purpose and scope of your research, and this will set the tone for the rest of the abstract. So, the purpose and the scope of your research must be very clearly stated in your abstract as well. And of course, you must ensure that your research question is clear and concise, and that is framed in a way that is relevant to the industries, relevant to the actual practice, and also interesting to your target audience as well. Suppose you pose your research problem in such a way that it is attractive to your readers, and finally they will invariably increase the visibility of your research through your citations as well. uh, Providing a brief description of the methodology. Usually, we use one or two, at the maximum two sentences, to define the methodology of your work in the abstract section. So, it is a concise summary of your methodology. Okay. The type of study, what kind of a study is it? Is it an observational part? It is related to experimentation? If it is related to any sample size, what will be the characteristics of the samples? What kind of a data collection methodology has been adopted? How the data has been analyzed? How you should analyze the data? So, of course, this methodology, whatever work you are doing in your own research domain, that must be clearly be specified in one or two sentences. So be sure, of course, to highlight the key aspects of your methodology that are most important for the understanding of your findings, whatever key findings that you are putting. But better to avoid going into much detail or presenting some technical information that is not relevant to your readers or your target audience. Of course, highlighting the key findings. So, preferably quantitative in case your research is based on science or an engineering study, and of course, qualitative or quantitative depending upon whether what sort of work you are doing in your social sciences or humanities. So, key findings must be implications of the study. Key findings must be highlighted in your abstract as well. It must showcase also your display also the main results, the statistical findings of your statistical significance of your findings, important trends or patterns that you have observed from your data or from the methodology that you have adopted, and finally be sure to focus the most important and the novel findings that are there. Okay, and of course providing too much details is sometimes your readers may lose interest, may lose track. Okay, so of course you must provide the key findings or the novel findings or the novel contributions of your work, preferably quantitatively, or in case you are dealing with a qualitative aspect, of course you must also present it qualitatively as well. And of course, you must summarize the conclusions and the implications of the study. What is the benefit of the study? What is the significance of the findings? What are the implications for the theory and how you have connected it with your practice? And any future research direction. It is not a compulsion to mention the future research direction, but if there is there, you can also even hint it at the time of your summary of your work or abstract of your work, and also highlight some key takeaways from this particular study, or emphasize that why is the study important and why it is relevant to the readers or to the target audience. So, of course, when we talk about writing an abstract, it must also cater to your target audience or to your readers. The abstract should be written in such a way that it fits the target audience or keeps in mind You keep in mind your target audience, what type of audience you have, what type of readers you are having in this particular journal in which you are submitting your paper. This means that we must consider the level of technical knowledge that they have, familiarity with your particular topic that the readers are having, and at the same time, how interested or how motivated they are feeling after reading your abstract. So, depending upon the target audience, you may need to adjust your language, your tone, your level of detail in your abstract, making it more accessible, making it more engaging to your target audience or your readers. How much accurate is your abstract? So, of course, make sure that you proofread your abstract and you try to bring coherence with your topic, your research problem, and how you are able to connect it with your audience as well. And how is the information being presented? Is it consistent with the rest of the article, or there are some grammatical errors, spelling errors, or punctuation mistakes? Okay, or it does not fit in, or it is not consistent enough to your rest of the article or the results you showcase. So of course there should not be any discrepancy between the abstract that you are writing. It must be clear, it must be logical also. So you must also want to have your colleague or your peers or mentor review your abstract to provide some feedback or suggestions for further improvement. Of course, the best feedback that you can expect is from a layman who does not know about your topic. If he or she feels interested about a topic, wants to learn more, then half job done, of course. Uh, it is of course not done in a single revision or single uh, iteration. It is an iterative process. We refine, and that's why I told you that you prefer to write your abstract at the end. You are drafting your when we are drafting the article, or we have already completed the problem statement part. We have already taken into account the methodology section. We have already reported the results in the article, and then you start writing the abstract. It will be a better time to write your abstract, revise, refine, and unless and until you are satisfied with the content, with the style, with the structure as well. And of course, it may involve some revising individual sentences, reorganizing the information, or sometimes adjusting to the tone based on the target audience. So, of course, writing an effective abstract is never a single iteration process. It will be an iterative process. Time and again, we have to revise and refine based on the journals in which we are submitting, or based on the satisfaction of the content or the structure or the style of the abstract as well. Some key points, of course, you must provide some brief introduction about the topic to understand the research problem properly. And we must also clearly state the context or the background in such a way that it includes the relevant literature, theories, concepts that are relevant to that particular field of research or the domain of research. Of course, identifying the research gap or the problem that your study aims to address, and explain over there why it is important, why it is relevant to make that study. This is also equally important. Clearly stating your objective of your work. What is the purpose of your research? What kind of research questions or hypotheses are being addressed? What are the aims and or objectives of your work? You must specify or state in a clear and specific manner. And this should be written in such a way that it is easily understandable by your readers, and it gives the readers a clear idea about what kind of a study it's all about. Once again, providing a brief description of the methods, your research design, your methodology, data collection process, any algorithms that you have designed, whether it's an experimental process or some observational things are there, some qualitative or quantitative research has been carried out, In case it deals with some samples, what is the sample size, what is the characteristics of those samples, the data collection methods that you have taken, or any statistical and analytical techniques that you have adopted. So be concise and also provide the essential details of the methods uh, employed in that particular study. So this is how it goes like. So after your objective is stated, you must also specify the methodology of your abstract as well. And of course, the key findings, main findings, results, you must provide preferably quantitatively or qualitatively depending upon your research domain or your research area. Key findings, outcomes, results, this must be definitely be specified. It can be qualitative finding, it can be quantitative finding, it can be statistical analysis, or any other relevant outcomes that are there for your study. So you avoid presenting some detailed data or extensive findings, but at the same time, some key findings must be reported so as to for your review of your journal editors or as well as the reviewers or the anonymous reviewers that are focusing on before it gets to the final readers. Of course, we must provide a concise and clear summary of the main results that you are presenting, main outcomes that you are presenting. And finally, of course, the conclusions or the implications. What purpose does it serve? You must summarize the conclusions, major findings, research findings. You must also preferably mention or discuss about the significance of the work, the implications of the study for the different field of research, and also for the practical applications as well. So if any practical applications are there, of course, you must highlight the practical applications. This is major attraction for the readers as well. Be cautious not to overstate, not to exaggerate, not to overstate your implications, and also not generalize beyond the scope of the study. This is also fatal sometimes. So, of course, you must not exaggerate your findings, your implications of the study, and also must not generalize beyond the scope of the article or beyond the scope of the journal. Of course, choice of keywords is equally important in abstract as well. List of relevant keywords that are mostly indexed, mostly searchable, and there are several article databases or search engines where we can search your article, and appropriate choice of keywords, of course, also increases your visibility of research and citation of your research as well. One that reflects the main content and the focus of the study. And your keywords must be at least specific enough and reflect the important concepts and the terms that are used in this particular article. So, appropriate choice of keywords apart from abstract is also equally essential to connect your abstract title, abstract, as well as your main article. Some key points in your style and language. This is most equally important. Of course, you must be clear, concise, grammatically correct. Avoid technical terms that may not be familiar with the readers who are not experts in the field. Use simple sentences, easily understandable and accessible to a wider range of audience. And of course, avoid lengthy or complex sentences as well for better clarity, for better simplicity, and in conveying the major points or the major highlights of your research. Length, of course, last but not the least, length is equally important. Mostly, I told you earlier as well that most the standard journals or the standard conferences mostly restrict your abstracts between 150 to 250 words. There can be some minor variations depending upon the types of journals or depending upon the types of conferences that we have, but mostly it should be ideally be written in such a way that it should be above 150 words but below 250 words. So specific word limit, you must go through the journal guidelines or the conference guidelines to write clearly the abstract, and be mindful about the word limit. Do not be exaggerative. Include all the essential information that I told you within that particular word limit as well. And last but not the least, you must proofread and revise your abstract carefully to ensure the accuracy of the content, to ensure the coherence of the topic, clarity of your work. Check for grammatical errors, spelling mistakes, punctuation errors, or any syntaxes that you are using. And of course, make sure that your abstract flows logically and it is able to communicate effectively the major highlights of your research work. And of course, you must revise and edit the abstract as and when needed to improve further its quality as well as the readability as well. So finally, we come to the end where we make some concluding remarks that writing an effective title requires consideration of your content, your target audience, and also the purpose of your article. Well-crafted title should be clear, concise, descriptive, informative as well, engaging, and effectively reflect the content of your article. By having the best practices, you can create a compelling title, and that must attract the reader's attention and entices them to read your article. You must write an attractive title in such a way that your audience, your readers are compelled enough to read your article as well. Regarding effective write-up of abstract, you must take into consideration some key practices. It must be clear, concise, and main content, majorly dealing with the objective of your work, methodology of your work, some key findings, and the implications of the study and the silent conclusions as well. So the language of your abstract must be clear, concise, free from any jargons, and of course, it must effectively represent the content and the findings of your article. And of course, the significance of your work or the significance of your relevance of your work must be there, and for which we need to incorporate certain relevant keywords, carefully proofread, edit it as and when required to improve the accuracy and also improve the professionalism that you have shown in developing that particular manuscript. And of course, your target audience, you must consider, seek feedback from your peers, from your collaborators, from your mentors, supervisors, and of course, keep on revising the article till you get it into a final shape. And finally, the authors must try to increase the impact of their research, the visibility of the research in their scientific community through the appropriate use of articles and appropriate use of the choice of articles as well as abstract as well. So with this, I end up my presentation. Over to IGP for their questions. Fine.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, dear sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition.
Let's go.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back to our participants. Sir, our first question is from Nitrin Baha. How are title and abstract related to each other?
Definitely, your title and abstract must be coherent. Okay, there should be an appropriate connectivity between title and abstract. Of course, the abstract is restricted, highlighting on the purpose of your study or purpose of your research. So it must include some keywords only that must reflect upon the work that has been carried out or the purpose of study. But abstract must reflect a summary of the work that is there. So it should be definitely be correcting each other, and there should be a coherence, absolute coherence between the two topics.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition.
I think it's a very short presentation in terms of how to fix the article's title and how to fix its abstract. So far, we have been able to engage almost an hour uh, with this particular topic. That is also, uh, we have to generate each and every topic, and it has to be repetitive as well.
Sir, I think there is no more questions from our
Okay,
participants. So once
fine.
again, thank you so
Fine.
much, Honorable Sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic and a new date. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you,
Sure.
sir. Take care.
Okay. Good evening. Good night.
Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for our webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Today, our some technical problem, we cannot provide our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Today, our some technical problem, we cannot provide our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Dear IGP Knowledge City, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Go to www.slido.com and find today's quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining. Quiz code is Global IGP. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is Global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is Global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is Global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is Global IGP. Please join in Slido with the code and the code is Global IGP. With 30 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. Our first question is best practice for writing a RFL. Option 1, issue 1 RFL per day and include all the items that came up on the job list site. Option 2, issue 1 RFL per topic issue as the issue comes up to the job site. Option 2 is the right answer and 33% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kuiper is holding the first position. Our second question is best practice for writing content include option 1, creating an outline, option 2, keeping it simple and not interesting. Option 1 is the right answer, and 97% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our third question is best practice for rating admin note is option 1 to record authorization, option 2 to put in Slack. Option 1 is the right answer, and 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kaifer is holding the first position. Our fourth question is what acronym describe best practice for rating user stories? Option 1 is smart, option 2 invest. Option 2 is the right answer, and 10% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Ricky is holding the first position. Our fifth question is best practice for writing intros all of expert. Option 2, model you thinking as a wife. Option 2, require a student to always write independently in silence. Option 2 is the right answer. 79% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Pinga is holding the first position. Our sixth question is which is not a best practice for writing survey questions? Option 1, avoid leading questions. Option 2, ask 2-3 things per question. Option 2 is the right answer, and 68% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Kinga is holding the first position. Our seventh question is one of the best practice for reading admin notes is option 1 to record authorization, option 2 to put in Slack.
টানা 3 ঘন্টা ওয়েট করেছি স্কুলের ব্যাগ শুধু একবার দেখা করবে বলে
Option 1 is the right answer, and 96% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Carmela is holding the first position. Our eighth question is which of the following are considered best practice for writing checks? Option 1, record everything immediately in the register. Option 2, use a pencil so you can erase mistakes. Option 1 is the right answer, and 68% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Ricky is holding the first position. Our second last question of the evening session is which three of the following elements are best practice for writing a film review? Option 1, evaluate the main actor's performance, use math, try to also use science. Option 2, evaluate the main actor's performance, proofread, add a thesis statement. Option 2 is the right answer, and 80% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Ricky is holding the first position. Our last and final question of the evening session is which three of the following elements are best practice for writing a film review? Option 1, include a thesis statement. Option 2, bold the film title. Option 1 is the right answer, and 77% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner, top 10. Congratulations again. So it will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner, top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition winner, top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to a goal, not a people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end like button, once again, thanks so much for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.